So welcome back. I wanted to talk about something rather personal, and it's about being in addiction recovery. It's something that I had only got into fairly recently, and only as a result of me getting arrested. It's something that, although when I was younger I know what addiction was and how to avoid certain things, still a lot of the problems that I went through with mental health exacerbated a lot of my issues with addiction. So in terms of how I got in pretty big trouble with my federal cases, really as a result of not dealing with mental health and addiction. And whereas I got a lot of help in dealing with my mental health issues with a clinical therapist and a psychiatrist, so it's more on the medical side, getting medications, getting psychotherapy. My addiction recovery was a little bit different. That I first went to a 12-step program. That was when I had gotten into trouble and I needed help. I was at rock bottom. An organization referred me to the 12 steps largely because they meet almost all the time. That it can be any day of the week and there is a meeting running somewhere, and so it's a very accessible program for people to choose in the beginning. And I had gotten into a 12-step meeting. I think it was an evening meeting that was in a church, a church that I've always seen before but never went inside of. And I was, surrounded by all these people who are also addicts, and we did the very stereotypical thing of, "Hi, my name is blah, and I'm an addict," and we'll go around and do that. And overall, it seemed a little bit scary in the beginning because I had hit rock bottom, and I had told people the reason why I'm in this room right now is because I'm in trouble with the law. And people were very understanding, and I'm sure that there were some people in the room who've also gotten into trouble with the law before too. And so I instantly had a lot of people who kind of empathized with my situation of hitting rock bottom. And by the end of that meeting, I actually did have one person who came up and says, "I've been where you were, I can definitely try to help you resolve anything that you can resolve right now in terms of your court case. Can you tell me a little about it?" And it was exactly what I needed. Not so much a lawyer, but just somebody to hear out what is the extent of my case. And this person eventually became my sponsor, but more importantly, he literally went with me to court. Because when in the beginning of my case, there really was not much of attention towards my case. It was at the lowest jurisdiction level, and we would go like every 2 weeks to then monthly of just showing up at court, and they would have nothing to say, and that went on for over a year. And my sponsor took me to court every single time because he wanted to make sure that I showed up, and if there was an opportunity to get that case dismissed, he was eagerly there with me, waiting for that moment. And so I don't think you can get like a social worker or somebody else to be at that level of helping you and being willing to even go with you to court. And so me personally, I learned so much from being in a 12-step program and how far people are willing to go to help you. It really is amazing. And I really wanted to keep focusing my recovery in the 12 steps in addition to other more clinically based stuff. But having been so well received and embraced by these people who are recovering addicts and them not judging me, it was really one of the best feelings I've had in my life, because I've always had this issue of feeling like I was an outsider, and these meetings, they don't make you feel like an outsider for having these kind of shortcomings or these flaws, whether it's in your behaviors or personality. So it's something that I would find very attractive for people who are seeking recovery, is that kind of the ability to be accepted, when you first get in. So I've really enjoyed committing myself to the 12-step programming and knowing the program. And if you are interested in it, I'm gonna put some links to various types of 12-step programs. They first started with Alcoholics Anonymous. Now there's Narcotics Anonymous. There's also some for folks who are smoking. There are things also 12 steps for overeaters, people with eating disorders, also people who have sex and love addiction. So there are so many different types of 12-step programming that you can go to, and for some people they go to more than one. It certainly can fill your time, and of course we all have sometimes a combination of issues or some intersectionality between the issues, and we try to address every single issue that we are affected by. But then there are also other people who just focus on one because they can only deal with one at a time. But I found it rewarding to be in recovery, because I do feel like I'm not doing it alone, especially during the week when I may not see people in meetings, but I still talk to them on the phone. I think that's one important aspect of these types of recovery support activities that is better than seeing a therapist or psychiatrist that you may only see once a month or once every 3 months. So hopefully I've kind of given you some, generated some interest in you in learning more. And I'll talk more about what it means to be in a 12-step in some follow-up videos.